Kevin Kelly, senior maverick, a maverick before Sarah Palin popularized the term or unpopularized it. Kevin, what are the ideas of the future that the Technium will produce?
Well, I think one of the conclusions that I made from looking at technology and viewing it as a historical cosmic force that began even before life and maybe even at the Big Bang, that it's actually an extrapolation of the same self-organizing force that runs through galaxies and stars, planets, life, minds, and now the Technium, is that we can kind of understand where it's going in its largest terms by looking at its past. And that would suggest that where technology is going to become more complex, more diverse, more energy dense, more sentient. It's never going to become simpler. So anybody who has any expectation that we can somehow make our lives simpler, make the culture simple, make technology simpler, is simply going in the wrong direction. There will certainly be interfaces like the egg, which is a very beautiful, simple design, but inside the egg is incredible complexity. And same thing with the iPod. It's kind of simple outside, but inside the complexity is actually growing, and how we use it continues to become more complex. So that's what I would say is that I think at one large level we can say, yes, we're headed to a place where technology will continue to become more specialized and more mutualistic, meaning that it's more codependent on other things, just like life is. Half of the species on this planet are parasitic or symbiotic. They require other life. And the same thing with technology is going to be becoming more and more dependent on other technologies. And so those trends are what I'm saying is those larger trends, macro trends, are what we can expect to see in technology in the future.
Will technology become more convivial, and how much can it speed up? Will we eventually hit a wall?
Yes. So that is one of the things that is speeding up is the evolvability. The ways in which technology is changing is also changing, and that constant acceleration seems too daunting at first. It's like, oh my gosh, if we have 100 years of change in 10 years, and then 10 years from now we may have 100 years of change in 1 year, and then 1 minute and 1 second. It just seems like that's going to be impossible. But here's what's interesting is actually I think that while most of the problems, like the acceleration, is being caused by new inventions, that the solution to most of our problems are technological. I'm a technocentric view of the world, and I think that the solution to problems is not less technology, it's more technology. If I had a bad idea, if I told you a bad idea, your response to me would not be, hey, you need to think less. No, you need to think better. And if we have a bad technology or stupid technology, the response is not less technology to pull back. It's to say, no, let's make better technology. And so when we have the problems, the technogenic problems, the response is not to say, well, we need less technology. It's no, we need better. We need better technology. We need another technology to cure the problem of the first technology. That new technology will make new problems that have to be solved with new technologies. That is this grand cycle that we're involved in. And so I think that's what we're looking for. That's the acceleration. And the answer to the problem of too many choices or going too fast is we will invent some technology that will help us deal with that choice or that speed.
So this tends to be an Eastern religious experience rather than a Western one. This endless cycle rather than a beginning point and an end point.
Yeah, there is no end point in evolution in this Technium's trajectory. It's actually more of a radiation outward. In fact, the whole point of evolution is that there is no end point. And so,
but there is a beginning.
There is a beginning. Yes, as far as we know, it's the Big Bang. And what's interesting is what I'm trying to do is to say there's a meaning to technology. Technology has some meaning to us, and that meaning is that what it's doing over the long term is increasing the choices and possibilities in the world. That's what evolution is doing. It's constantly expanding possibility space, opportunities, choices, differences, and that's what technology gives us now. And that when we are making all this stuff, we're sitting at our computers making new stuff, when we're manufacturing, designing new stuff, it may seem like we're just feeding into the consumer capitalistic machine. But in fact, what we're really doing is increasing the choices and options available. And every choice or option available allows another person the possibility of finding their genius. So Mozart required a piano and symphony technology to be able to be the genius he was. But imagine if he had been born 1,000 years before the piano or the harpsichord had been invented. What a hole, what a loss in our culture that would have been. Or if Van Gogh had been born before oil paints, or Lucas or Hitchcock had been born before we had invented the technologies of cinema, what a loss. So that means that somewhere today there's a boy or a girl alive who's some Shakespeare of their time, whose technology we have not yet invented. We have a moral obligation to invent these technologies for them, just as other people have invented the book and the alphabet and writing for me. And so we should be engaged, and we can rejoice in the fact that as we make this stuff, we're actually increasing the possibility space and giving everybody more of a chance to find that thing which will allow them to express their genius.